Seattle, the will he, or won't he that led up to Oregon's game on Saturday against Washington at least, made the week interesting. More than a month after Justin Herbert broke his collarbone and several weeks after he returned to practice, Oregon coach Willie Taggart kept the fan base on their toes as he toyed with the notion of the sophomore quarterback returning to action for the matchup against number 12 Washington. Throughout the week, Taggart gave indirect answers as to whether Herbert would be available. Hebert dressed for the Ducks' win over Utah and started to practice with more contact this week. He was even listed as the or option for Oregon's starting quarterback on this week's depth chart. It was all a ploy. The Ducks knew all week that Herbert wasn't available for action, players said, and that Braxton Burmeister would start for a fifth straight week. Now, following a 38-3 loss in a game that saw just 31 passing yards for Burmeister, the Ducks enter bye week hoping that Herbert's return is as simple as another week off. "I hope so," Taggart said. "It would be nice." Players and coaches have gone out of their way not to peg the offense's struggles on Burmeister, a true freshman quarterback who was slotted as the team's fourth option before Terry Wilson and Travis Johnson transferred away. "Everyone can play better," Taggart has said. They watched film together as an entire team to prove that everyone was making mistakes. But against one of the best defenses in the country, the Ducks had little chance without a sniff of a passing game. Momentum may have slipped away from the Ducks from a series of botched plays. The Ducks had fumbles, poor third down attempts and a costly decision to kick to all-world punt returner Dante Pettis, but it was Oregon's inability to even threaten through the air that doomed the Ducks on a rainy evening beside Lake Washington. Through the first 3 quarters of the game, Burmeister didn't attempt to pass longer than 10 yards. Any ball that went through the air either went out wide for a screen or 5 yards up the middle. And while the Ducks found some traction in the first quarter on the ground, Royce Freeman rushed for 65 of his 123 yards in the first 12 minutes. Washington quickly adjusted and hammered Oregon's runners in a box loaded with Huskies. When Myles Gaskin broke free for a 34-yard touchdown run late in the second quarter to give Washington a 17-3 lead, Oregon's comeback chances took a dive without the ability to do so through the air. "We were able to run the ball pretty effectively for the most part," center Jake Hansen said. "But when you're so one-dimensional you need big plays to spark touchdowns and we just didn't do that." Burmeister finished the game 7 of 13 for 31 yards. His longest completion was 9 yards and he threw 1 interception. Meanwhile, Herbert threw some passes during warm-ups and was in gear on the sideline, though the Ducks knew all week that he wasn't available, no matter how deceiving he may have looked out there. "To me, he looks great," tight end Jacob Breland said. "It's cool to see him out there." Breland said he thinks Herbert will be back for Oregon's next game on November 18 against Arizona. With 2 games left on the schedule, the Ducks need one more win to become bowl eligible. The Wildcats, with star quarterback Khalil Tate, might have too much firepower for the Ducks to contain without their own passing attack. Taggart was asked, just like he has for the last few weeks, about Herbert's status for the next game. Will he be back? He hopes so. "When he comes back, I'm sure everyone will be excited," Taggart said. "You guys will be excited. We'll be excited. Our fan base will be excited. I mean, we all know what it is. If we can get the kid back, it'll be great for our football team."